Everybody, welcome to the All Things Fun Vidcast. My name's Ed Evans. I'm here with my co-host Glenn Walker. Allison is on vacation this week. She'll be back next week. We're going to feature new comics coming out today, Wednesday, March 23rd, 2011. Before we get started, let me give a quick shout out to my friend Steve and Lena, owners of Little Shop of Comics up in Scotch Plains, New Jersey. We just got to spend some time together at last week's Gamma show in Las Vegas.
How was that?
It was good. It was a good show.
Yeah.
More about the business of fun, so there's just lots of stuff to be done. But
did you go to In-N-Out Burger?
Yes, of course I did. That was the whole point of the trip. Of course.
Hey, as far as I'm concerned, yeah.
That's right. So if you're in Central Jersey, up near Scotch Plains, you should stop in. You'll have a hard-pressed time, except of course all things fun, finding a friendlier comic and game shop. All right, so we got a lot to cover and not much time, so let's jump right in. What do we got there today, sir?
What do I got? Well, we've got the big news this week is FF #1. It's the new iteration of Fantastic Four, minus the Human Torch. They have a new member of the team, Spider-Man. As we say, they also have these wild new white uniforms. I believe third generation unstable molecules.
Yes.
So they can change them at will, which is kind of an interesting idea. It seems to be more a family organization rather than a team of 4 superheroes. They're moving forward. It's ideas that Jonathan Hickman has had since the beginning of his run here, and they're just laying them on. We were talking earlier about how if you had just told me what this issue was about, I would have said, I don't want that. But you know what? When you read it, you just want to keep reading, find out what they're going to do with it, how it's going to roll. It's got an interesting shock closing.
Yeah, Hickman did a really nice job. It's in my opinion, always does well with his characterizations. That was his strong suit on JSA, and I think he hit it out of the park. It was a really great, just a good story.
And it's a pretty book. Yes. Steve Epting. Speaking of pretty books, we have a complete reprint of Captain America Comics #1. It's Simon Kirby. It's beautiful, and it's total recreation because you also got Tuck the Cave Boy and Hurricane, a great obscure Kirby character. I believe showed up again in Monster Hunters about 10 years ago.
Yep.
And then we have Captain America 615.1 jumping on point. Steve Rogers is recruiting a new Captain America. No Avengers this week, so we'll have to deal with X-Men, just as good. It's got Spider-Man and Wolverine. X-Men 534 actually has a Avengers Academy preview in it.
It's also the end of the Quarantine story, which is a really good story from Matt Fraction.
Yes, and pretty art by Greg Land. Speaking of starting points, we have Thor 620.1. It's Thor versus the Great Gargoyle, one of his classic villains.
Cool.
It is a cloudy day, and yet we have Deadpool. Deadpool
sunshine.
Max. Very pretty art by Kyle Baker. And Deadpool 34 with a rather ugly cover, but it's id. What is he? The Selfish Moon.
Selfish Moon.
Do you know what? I really hated Deadpool when we started doing this. I'm starting to...
Growing on you?
Starting to grow on me, like a wart.
Yep.
Evil Incarnated. Osborn, #4 of 5. Good story. I'd rather have Green Goblin. Am I right? I mean, Osborn is a great villain. I'd rather have the Green Goblin.
Yeah, I agree.
And we've got 3 of 5, New Power Man and Iron Fist. The battle continues against, let me see if I can pronounce it right, Comedia del Marte. It's actually a very cool story. I'm enjoying it.
Nice.
What do you got?
I got some great stuff this week. Very
You've
excited.
got piles and piles and piles.
I do. It's because Allison isn't here to take all my good books.
Well, you've got some choice this week.
I do. So this is great. I've got the War of the Green Lanterns begins this week in Green Lantern #64. Yep, so you can check that out. This is the first issue of the War of the Green Lanterns. Got a chance to read it. It's fantastic. And as if that wasn't enough, in Green Lantern Corps 58, you get part 2 of the War of the Lanterns this week. So you got part 1 and 2 grouped together this week. Very well done. Both stories in Corps and in Green Lantern kind of led up this, so you know what's going on. It's not a surprise. But it is still very, very well done. There's a little bit of a twist in there. We've also got, for folks who are gearing up for the death of Ultimate Spider-Man, you've got Ultimate Spider-Man number 156. This is a direct lead-in. You can kind of see they're laying some track there. We've got, for folks following the Silver Surfer short, 2 out of 4. Silver Surfer 2 out of 4. This is Greg Pak's take on the Surfer. Been a very good story so far.
I wasn't aware that was a mini.
Yeah, 4-part mini.
Okay.
Yeah, 4-part mini. You've got Hulk number 31 out this week. Looks pretty cool. Lots of
Which
stretching.
Hulk?
Well, it jumps all over the place, but it's the Red Hulk on the cover. So
Okay.
we'll see who's featured this month. For folks following the Age of X, this is the New Mutants number 23, Age of X chapter 4. Again, this is kind of like almost an Elseworlds mutant tale. It's running through all the X books right now. And as you read it, you kind of figure out how we got there, what happened, and it'll tell you up front.
No, is it like House of M, or are they going to remember this when they come back from it?
Don't know. It's not really like House of M in that it's, you know, the storytelling is different, but we don't know what the story is yet. We don't know if they're going to remember, because we just don't know. They didn't really lay the
They
groundwork.
just dropped this into it.
Yeah, because at least in House of M, you knew the Scarlet Witch was messing with you, and it's probably just in Elseworlds. Here, you really don't know what the story is and how you got there. You've got Uncanny X-Force number 6. This has been doing really well since the relaunch. Folks are getting into that. Of course, that's Rip Remender. Everybody loves Rip Remender. Namor the First Mutant number 8 out this week.
I still can't get past the X on the belt.
Yeah. Oops. Dakin, Dark Wolverine, and a classic Wolverine cover.
I wouldn't say that Dokken, it's more metal.
Doc, yes, Doc. And let's see, what else have we got to show you here? Astonishing Spider-Man and Wolverine, number 5 of 6 miniseries is almost over.
You're teaming up a lot this month.
There's a whole lot of team up going on. And let's just real quick take another couple. Oh, for the Ultimate Universe, this is issue 4. Ultimate Doom, for those of you who were surprised last month when we figured out who Ultimate Doom was, that was a very cool twist. Say again? Last issue, and this is it. This is the final wrap-up. And I did read it. This is the last issue. Thanks
So
to
it
the team.
really is the Ultimate Doom.
Yes, at least for this book. But they do make some big changes. The Fantastic Four also gets messed up in the Ultimate Universe. It's not just happening in the real universe, too. And it's not Johnny, it's somebody else. Bad things happen here. Last issue of Ultimate Doom, surprisingly good. Check it out.
So if they didn't get the Fantastic Four, remember you wanted dead. They
Right,
get it in the
you've
Ultimate
got another
Universe.
shot
All
out
right.
of here. Another shot.
It's Fantastic Four season.
It is just, yeah, rabbit season, duck season. And last but not least from Vertigo, you've got John Constantine Hellblazer, number 277. Wins the award this week for the hardest number issue comic to find in the cover. It's somewhere in there, kids. Like, where's Waldo? I have to find the issue number. So it is 277. Take my word for it. And also from Vertigo, one of my favorite books, Fables, number 103, Willingham, a blast to read, and this guy just never loses steam. He's still rolling. It's been
He's
fantastic.
doing superheroes now in Fables.
Something like that. It's actually a superhero story, but it still involves the Fables. They're just, it involves witchcraft and fighting the big bad guys. It's a typical Fable story, but with a neat twist. And that's his twist. What else you got over there, sir?
Well, we have DC. Supergirl 62. This is, it's not Nick Spencer yet, but it stars Robin, Blue Beetle, Miss Martian. It's Teen Titans. For what I understand, we're introducing a major new DC villain here. Speaking of major villains, Justice League 55, they're in space. They're fighting Doomsday. They're fighting Eclipso. Donna Troy even fights Cthulhu. I'm serious, okay? We also get the first appearance of Blue Lantern St. Walker in here. He's going to be joining. Also Cyborg Superman, and it's going to move over to, I believe, Superman Batman Annual after this. Speaking of Justice League Generation Lost is almost over. We're running into the end of it. We actually have Wonder Woman, or we'll pass for Wonder Woman now, on the cover. I think what we talked about last time, they are going to intersect.
Yep.
I think there's something between Max Lord and what's going on in Wonder Woman. I think that may be the answer.
I think so.
Legion of Superheroes 11. They're on the trail of the Legion of Supervillains. Some juicy stuff there. Allison is not here. We miss you, but we're going into the Batcave with Batman Incorporated. We've got Batwoman. We've got the original Batwoman. We've got Batwoman versus Batwoman. Nice stuff there. Are we out of time?
We are. We're going to have to come back. We're going to interrupt the Batcave there, and we'll be right back for part 2 of the All Things Fun Vidcast.